Alright guys, welcome to this module. In the last couple of videos we have finished the basic of our application. The main things that we now still need to do is create the landing page, separate the application from the landing page, and I'm going to show you what that exactly means in a minute, and of course make the paywall work. As you guys might remember, the last couple of videos we did some basics for Stripe, since of course within the starter kit we have a basic integration with Stripe, but we haven't tested it and we haven't implemented it in production. Now, long story short, what did I just mean with separating the landing page from the actual app? As you guys might know, we deployed our application in one of the modules to Vercel, and we did this with the domain that we bought, which is fitgeniusai.nl. If we go to this domain, we immediately come to the login screen of the app. However, as you guys might know, and I've seen with competitors and other applications as well, the most common way to go about this is the moment that you visit just the plain domain, that you come on a landing page. One example is one of my applications that we're currently working on. As you can see, I just typed in the domain name, I come onto this landing page, and then from here, when I click on login or sign up, I come to the actual application. Now, I was already logged in. What I mean with the application is we assign it to another domain name. So the application is actually not hosted on the main domain name, but we host it on app.whatever your domain name is. Now, again, for FitGeniusAI, we currently have just this one domain name. That's the app. So anyway, long story short, how do we want to do this? So the most common mistake that I made in the beginning as well, and most beginning developers would make, is creating a whole different Git repository, creating the whole landing page app in there, blah, blah, blah. One thing to keep it all clean, I like to do is have, because that is what we need to do, we will need to have two applications right now, is have one Git repository. So we already have one, of course, this repository. Instead of two Git repositories in two different apps, because we would need a landing page app and a application app, right? Because we need to deploy it on Vercel, and in order to deploy it on Vercel, we need to connect a Git repository on it, or at least like an application file. So we would have one Git repository with just two files, and one would be the website, and the other would be the app. Now, currently, if we go into the file structure of the codebase, we of course have all of these files, and this is the app application file. Now, if you're not following me, like, don't worry, I'm going to make it visual in a minute and it will make sense in a minute. We're going to make some little changes with the codebase. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to make two folders. One is going to be called, well, I'll just do application for now, and then I will move everything into that folder. There we go. Now, the next thing we're going to do is create a second file, a second folder, and that's going to be called website. By the time that I'm making this video, Cloud or Cursor has updated their IDE to also support Cloud 3.7, which is a much better improvement like the 3.5 we were using in the previous videos. So we can actually use 3.7 to help us out here. So what we want to do is we want to create two apps now. We already have finished the application app, most of the stuff at least. And what we also want to do is we want to create a second app, which is going to be the website. Let me first of all just copy and paste these errors. I have just made some changes and fix these errors. The second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Cloud to create a new application within the website folder. Please create Vercel next template app in the website folder in the root. What I mean with root is, of course, the main, like the most on top folder, right, where everything is in. So it's going to check and understand the codebase, and then run some commands. And what we can do is just click enter, and there we go. So what Cursor just did is created a brand new application based on the Next.js template. Now, again, our Crafter starter kit is actually built on top of the Next.js template, but because we don't need like the dashboard, the login, the authentication, whatever for a simple landing page, we just need to have some visuals. We don't need to use the Crafter starter kit here. We can just go and ask Cursor to duplicate the Next.js stuff. quickly reopen the cursor. The error's gone. Yeah, I think the errors are gone. Perfect. So now we got 2 applications. And what I mean with that is as follows. We literally got 2 applications, right? If I do pnpm run dev now, I will get an error. And it is because we are not in one of these applications. So if we run this command, cursor is like, which app do I run? I don't see any app, right? Because the app is actually in the folder. So let's say we want to run the application that we already built in the last couple of videos. We do cd, and cd is like a command that you can actually go to a folder. It's like opening a folder, right? So now we did cd application, which is this folder. And now if we run this command, pnpm run dev, suddenly it works, right? And if I click on this, it will load, but it's supposed to open the app. Yep, there we go. Okay, so another thing I would need to do is now Prisma generate, because I actually duplicated this whole project before. We already did this in the previous videos. You had to, of course, generate database stuff. But anyway, let me now rerun it. You should not face this error. And if you do, then you can just follow along and run Prisma regenerate. There we go. As you can see, everything works. Now, the second thing we did is created the website app. And that is, of course, again, what we're going to focus on in this video. So I'm going to open a second terminal. I'm going to do cd website, because we don't want to go within the application, but to the website now. And then in here, I'm going to run, do pnpm run dev, click on follow link, and there we go. So this is the Next.js template. As you can see, there's nothing much, but it will actually help cursor with all the basic files. As you can see, if I open this up, we have all the basic files that we need for a project. It will help cursor to form a fundament where we can build the landing page on top of. So before we do that, I'm going to already get rid of the most complicated stuff that we need to do, which is not actually that complicated. So we need to go to our Vercel deployment. And again, we did this all in the last video. And we need to make some changes here, because what we did is we assigned the main domain name to this application. And we want to now, of course, have app.fitgenius.ai. So instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to domains. I'm going to delete these domain names from this specific deployment that we did. Instead, I'm going to add app.fitgenius.ai or ai.nl. Boom, boom, boom. Production. Yeah, that's all fine. At domain. Now we're going to fix this. So we're going to go to our GoDaddy settings, and we're going to add whatever they just prompted us to do. txt Vercel. Okay, so we paste that in there. Go to txt. Put this on 600. I just like to put it on 600. You can just follow the basic, the default value. Doesn't really matter. 600 is faster. Anyway, boom, we added that. So this will take a bit, and then this will get refreshed. Then we're going to go to our project. And what we're going to do is we're going to need to change some things in here, because we now, of course, will have the same problem. Vercel will be like, okay, which application do I run, right? So we need to actually tell Vercel, you need to run the application folder. So what we're going to do is I'm going to first of all open a new terminal, and I'm going to push the changes that we just made. So feature restructure codebase and add second application. We do push. There we go. So if we go to GitHub now and I refresh, as you can see, this is what we see now. We've got 2 folders and 2 applications. So when you, for example, sell your application, one day, that is the goal, you can just hand over like a full GitHub repository where every little sub application, everything will be at one place. Now, anyway, if we go back to Vercel, you will now see we've got an error. So again, we need to tell Vercel, like, hey, we've actually made some changes and this is how we want it. So let's go to settings. Let's see where it's hidden. We go in here. Yeah. So we need to actually put it in here, and I think we can just put in application here. I'm not sure if it works like that. Updated root directory successfully. Okay, while that is building, now we're going to have a second deployment. So we're going to go all the way back to our Vercel overview. We're going to click on add new. We're going to click on project. Then we're going to go to our repository. So you can just search for your repository. I think mine is in my private one. Yep, there we go. Import. Then in here, we're going to call this one the Fit Genius landing page. And important one, we're going to click on edit with the root directory. We're going to select the website one. Okay. Going to click on continue. Going to click on deploy. Project names up to 100 characters. Oh yeah, it doesn't really matter. We just do Fit Genius landing page like that. Boom. So while that is deploying as well, what we will end up with is we will have two applications. Again, I will repeat it until you like 100% understand it. So we will have the landing page, and then we will have the application, which will be on app. Okay, let's go back to cursor and let's get actually crafting with the landing page. So this is what we're going to do. We are going to run our server for the website again. Again, if you are not in that terminal, you go and do cd and then whatever you named your folder. So for me, it's website. I already did it. It was already open in here. And we can go straight to the local host. Now we're going to tell cursor that we are going to build a landing page. We are building just like competitors might have. Now what I'm also going to do is I'm just going to take a quick screenshot of the page that we had earlier to ensure that cursor also understands that that is the styling that we would like. Now I'm going to select Cloud 3.7 Standard Thinking and click on Send. In the meanwhile, our Vercel deployment should be done. As you can see, this one is done. So we click on Continue to Dashboard, go to Settings, and then here, of course, we're going to assign the other domain name that we want to have. So we're going to click on Add, and we're going to assign our main domain name, which is fitgeniusai.nl. Just whatever recommended. Boom. So this one will work in a minute, but if we go to Fit Genius AI now, we see that our new project that we created is showing up. That's perfect. Okay, so it's doing all kind of stuff. Let's see what it comes up with. All right, it just finished. I immediately saw some errors, so I just copy and pasted that in there, and let's see what it does to fix it. Okay, since it was doing some weird stuff, this is what it created. I just went back to cursor, scrolled all the way up, and I added to the previous prompt that we had. Start step by step, first only by a hero and website nav, CTA, sign up buttons, etc. Some more specific instructions about one specific thing that we want, and then on top of that we will prompt further, right? So let's see what it comes up with. Okay, so it took a while and I had a little pause, but I did it like 3 times again, 2 times it fucked up, so if it does, remember, you scroll to the top again, or open a new cursor chat and try re-prompting it again. Anyway, this is the simple hero that it came up with, and I tried, instead of asking it to create a whole landing page, to first start off with just the basics. So I will now just ask it immediately, like, now please restyle accordingly. Let's see what it does then, and then once that is set and we are satisfied with how it looks and blah blah blah, we'll start asking it to add like the rest of the page. Again, like for example, chat form is a very simple landing page, And yeah, of course we can add like whatever. There's not a lot of content. This is like a new app that we're working on, so by the time that this video is live, maybe you see some more content and it's more advanced. But for now, this was the basic MVP site, and I think this is more than sufficient that you can do this as well, right? So you have like a basic header, like whatever you want, like maybe it's a video, an animation, whatever. Then just the pricing. Maybe you could add like another feature in here. For now, it's an MVP. Okay, so I did some changes. I can see that the logo is there now as well. Let's just ask it to perfect. Please now redesign the hero section. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Dribbble, and Dribbble is a website where designers just share all kinds of stuff, right? So whatever they design, they put on here. So let's just do SAAS landing page and see what we get. And then what we can do is we can just like take some screenshots. For example, this one. What I can do is just screenshot this because I like how the design looks. Put it in there. Let's see what else we like. This one looks clean as well. Boom. And then we just pick a few, right? Like a few where you're like, okay, yeah, that looks clean. I wouldn't mind my website looking like that. I just put it in there. Attached some screenshots of high-end examples of landing pages. Okay, guys, so I asked it, of course, the question that I just asked it. Then it gave me a pretty good landing page already. I made a screenshot of it, and the only thing I had to say is now please make the text in the hero more readable, because it was not readable. Anyway, this is how it looks like, which is pretty sick already. So let me just refresh. We have a little subtle animation there, not that much. I don't know what it did there, but yeah, it looks okay already. I see there's some glitch here. Yeah, let's just start with these little changes. Is it done already? It's still doing something. And then from there, what we'll do is we'll just ask it to add a few more sections, like features, pricing, of course. All right, it's done. So it fixed the top stuff, and I don't even know what else we asked it. Oh yeah, the buttons. Let's see. Click and get started. There we go. Works. Perfect. Okay, then we will ask it to just improve it with some animations and UI elements. I also noticed that if we go to the sign up page, we have a little bit of a different color scheme. So what I will do is just screenshot it. Please update the colors, since this is the actual application UI. You know, it's not bad, right? If we click and get started, like it isn't that bad, but I would rather have it match more. Alright guys, it's done. Oh, fuck yes. This is amazing. Okay, let's refresh it. This is amazing. As you can see, it immediately updated the UI. I would say you could work on this even more. Of course, it took the colors of the buttons here, and it didn't take the background colors here. But yeah, of course, that's prompting, whatever you would like. I think it's actually pretty fucking clean. Yeah, I would just ask it to now add pricing in there as well. I'm not even sure what the pricing was that we had initially, but I will just put it on $19 for now. Perfect. This is amazing. Give it a compliment. Right? Please now continue with finishing the landing page. Free plan with limited features. Of course, this is a demo app, so point out for yourself like what is the pricing that you would like to have, and of course what features will every plan specifically add. Like what incentive does a user have to upgrade to a pay plan? Like what do they get extra? Stuff like that. But for now, let's just let cursor decide it with limited features. I like to normally just prompt a lot as if it's a conversation. I of course said this in previous videos as well, but I noticed especially with Cloud 3.7, especially if you turn on the thinking mode, the more you will say, the more it will actually accurately perform. The interesting thing about the thinking model is that it takes your text and it actually does like two requests basically, right? So the first AI call is like it takes your text, it tries to understand what is the plan, and then the second one is it will actually generate the plan, execute on the plan. So the more that you talk, the more that the plan will be more accurate. Like I can't find the words, but it will be more accurate. So it's actually beneficial to just talk more, and that's why I try to include a lot of this stuff to make sure that the plan is according our needs. And as you can see, it aced it. This is amazing. I see there's a little animation on my mouse as well. It's perfect. Alright, there we are. Let's refresh the page. So we have a little animation there. I noticed that it also improved the styling, which is amazing. Of course, let's just envision that these are actual logos. It automatically did some information there. For now, we will keep that. Of course, if you would like to change that, you would just ask Cursor to change this to another amount of members. But yeah, for this video, like in this course, I want you to give as much information as possible to allow you to just build your own stuff, to update things as you would like yourself. So I hope that this give you like all the necessary tools to make these changes. Most importantly, it just added this pricing section, which, as you can see, bro, like you could sell this as a design. Like you would pay a designer like a minimum of 50 euros, 75 euros for this fucking one prompt, 1 second thing, right? Maybe even more. Yeah, by the way, like I'm capping way more for the whole website. Anyway, it also added the freaking footer as we asked. So it indeed put the logo in there. It created a little description. It inserted the company information. It also added some links. So if you have these, you can of course add these right here. For now, it's just redirecting to Instagram. Now, we also got these terms of service and stuff like that. Of course, the pages don't exist yet. So normally what you would do is you would ask it to then, of course, create the legal pages and the other pages that you would like. For now, I'm not going to do that. My goal here is just to give you all the tools again. So it will do it with the About Us page, but yeah, the rest of the stuff, it will be linked automatically. It does that. The most important thing here is just that we have the two different applications. So we have one for the website and one for the app. So in the future, when you're, for example, making changes on the application or making changes to the website, and one of these two things breaks, there's a bug in one of these, the deployments will be separate. It's like two separate servers. So if there's an issue in the application, the website will work fine, right? And the other way around as well. So it's also like a safety net. You can do this with other features or other applications as well. For example, with chat form, we basically built like sort of a type form thing, and we have 3 deployments with this one, right? We have the website, we have the application where the user can create the forms, the dashboard, whatever, and we have the actual forms. And the actual forms is, of course, in this specific product the most important, because people will run ads to forms, right? So the last thing you would like, it will be a nightmare, is basically making a error or causing a bug within the application that then affects all the forms, the type forms. So then, of course, all users would be affected, and they are running, for example, traffic to these forms, and that will cost a lot of money. And of course, you as well. So this is a really interesting way to separate certain parts of your application without actually creating a mess in your code base, because all you are doing is just adding an extra folder, right? So to summarize what we did here while the About Us is being created, we created a separate application within the same GitHub repository. We then went to Vercel. We said to Vercel, like, hey, listen, we've got 2 apps within one repository, so I want to create 2 different projects. So we have one project that is the landing page, we have one project that is the application. Then what we did is we assigned a specific domain name to the application, which in this case I like to call app. And then the domain name. We did that in the domain settings in Vercel. Right here, we had to wait a few minutes, and as you can see, it's now connected and working. The second thing we did is, of course, it's the same for the website page as well. For the website page, we didn't really have to set up anything. As you can remember in the early stages of this course, we had to go to settings, go to environment variables, and set all of this up for the application. For the website, of course, we are not working with any database, any dependencies. Of course you could, like if you would like to have a form in there or whatever, but we don't. We have a simple landing page, and it's nothing more than that. Now, in the codebase, again, it is important to then, when you prompt, tell cursor which application you would like to make the change in. Because now that we have two applications, let's say I prompt to a new Composer chat, like, hey, I want to update the styling. Composer could get a little confused about which application we were talking about. And it would, for example, maybe update the website styling instead of the application styling if that is desired. So it's important to update your prompting, how you prompt as well. There's another way, which of course you could just go to cursor and then do like new open, and then instead of let me show you, instead of opening the root file where you would just see the application and website, you would open the for example the website file. Okay, you click on open. As you can see, there's a new window open, and now we only have the website application in here. Now, once you've made your changes, as you remember, but I will remind you again, it is of course important that you push the changes, because if I now visit the FitGenius AI website, it will give me, of course, the Next.js template that we committed earlier. Now, you will probably face an issue when you try to commit changes, which is common. I had this in the beginning as well. And the problem is the following. So, because we have one repository, GitHub repository, that is at the top, right? Like above the website and application folder. Like these folders are inside the GitHub repository. You cannot commit straight from the website folder. And of course, as you remember from the beginning and you follow these steps, your terminal is in the website folder. Now, if I try to push anything from here, let me just show you. Oh shit, it actually works, but it's probably not good. I would at least recommend you to not do it. Okay, actually it worked. Okay, so maybe you can ignore me, but if you want to be totally safe, I had like face some issues with this. You can just click on new terminal. It will open outside of the website thing. It will open in the top folder. And if you then do it in here, git commit, new updates. Yeah, okay, so now, of course, there's nothing to update since we apparently successfully committed stuff in the GitHub repository. Learned something here as well. But anyway, you would, of course, need to push it to the GitHub repository. Now, once you do that, another like funny thing to now see is instead of having one deployment, we, of course, now have two deployments. So as you can see, it is now deploying on both the website, the landing page, and the application. So it needs to build 2 times. So it will take 2 times longer because it needs to build and deploy 2 applications with every commit you do. One thing to keep in mind, but it works. Perfect. So as you can see, the deployment is now successful. If I go to the FitGenius AI website and I click on refresh, we now have our own website, which is amazing. So this is our landing page now. We have our pricing in here. When I click on it, I go to the application, and in here I can actually log in. So that is the main information I want to give to you in this video. I hope it was very helpful. If you, of course, have any questions, feel free to send me a message on Telegram. And in the next video, we will verify the whole application and finish it off by, of course, adding the Stripe functionality, like completing that stuff as well. And then we should be good to go. Of course, if this would be a production application, as I said earlier, you would need to complete the full website with not only doing the About Us or the homepage, but actually doing every little detail that you have in here, including a terms of service privacy policy. For this, by the way, you can use AI to generate it as well. I know a lot of people that use ChatGPT for this, since ChatGPT knows the knowledge as well to create a legal agreement. Of course, yes, it will not be fully legally checked and whatever, but at least you can then get started, right? And then eventually when you do some money when you do some MRR. You generate some revenue. You can pay a legal person for like 1K or 2K to do like an airtight old legal agreement or whatever for your application. But for now, bro, you're just launching, you're testing and validating as soon as possible. That's your goal here. So anyway, let's move on to the next module.